In the final video of our Chalke Valley History Festival trilogy, we return to the world of spies. In a previous video, we explored the stories of secret agents who served in the Special Operations Executive during the Second World War. In this video, I learn more about some of their equipment and get my hands on some weapons and high explosives. As with our previous videos, this took place in the middle of a busy reenactment, so you will hear the sound of gunfire. The guns can get quite loud in some places, so do use the subtitles if needed. One of the most important roles in the SOE was that of a wireless operator. It was the only way agents could communicate with HQ whilst in the field. It was an extremely difficult and dangerous job, with a casualty rate of 50% and an average life expectancy of just 3 months. Our previous videos have covered my own connection to the world of secret radios and some of the brave men and women who used them whilst behind enemy lines. If I was going to become a secret agent, I needed to learn more about how these radios were used. So, what is this a replica of?
This is a replica of a Wadden Mark 7 radio set. It's a relatively small radio set that would be sent out with agents to their posts behind enemy lines. And while this is quite small, it's powerful enough to send signals back to England. The problem you have is finding spare components, spare tubes, valves for it, and also the power supply as well. It's the batteries, it's the generators to keep these going that's going to provide a problem for you. But also, the way that this is designed, it will amplify any incoming signal multiple times. And that unfortunately feeds the signal back into the antenna loop as well. So if you're a radio operative with SOE and you turn this radio on, the Germans are going to start to be able to find you.
So was this more detectable than other radio sets?
Absolutely. I know particularly why this one was detectable, simply because of the way the antenna circuit was designed. However, if you're a skilled radio operator, you'd pre-prepare your message, you'd get down, you'd find a place for your antenna, you get it tuned in, and at the appropriate time you'd send your message. Hopefully they would send a reply back to you, and then you could turn your radio off and be out of there. In rural countryside, that's fairly easy to do. You can hide in the vastness of forests, in the back of fields, but in towns you have German officers with radio pinpointing equipment. If you use the same place more than a couple of times, they'll track you down and get you.
Could you demonstrate it for us?
Yes, I can demonstrate it. This one, being a replica, is actually using modern electronics because it communicates with all of our other teaching radios. And it means I don't have to find replacement valves. So we have a power on/off switch here. We have a selector switch between receive and transmit, and for purposes of demonstration, we have our transmitting and receiving key. So if I was going to go and send a message, I'd power off, pre-prepare it, power on. I'd then send it, set it to transmit. I'd send my message by depressing this key. Obviously it's going to be Morse code, dots and dashes. I'm no high-skilled operator. We use this key here. And then straight back on to receive. If you leave that on transmit, of course your signal transmitting out is going to be stronger, you'll be caught more quickly, but also you won't receive a signal back.
No. Another crucial role for agents was sabotage. Damaging bridges, railways, communication lines and ammunition stocks was key to disrupting the enemy. I needed to learn how to blow stuff up.
Right, so we're going to be talking about some demolitions and explosives. The training for Special Operations Executive is pretty much the same as the military, but they're going to have to improvise. They don't know what they're going to have on a daily basis. When you're creating an explosive charge, obviously you will have heard of things like TNT, standing for trinitrotoluene. It doesn't look like a grey wooden block. It looks sort of like an infected earwax colour. Melting point in the 70 degrees or so, and it's safe enough to sort of melt on a stove top. That on its own is so safe, you haven't got to worry about it exploding. You've got to work quite hard to make it explode, and that's what makes it excellent for military use. To set it off, we're going to need another batch, and that's either going to be plastic explosive, primer cord, or this stuff here. This is gun cotton. We place that on there. and then we would insert a detonator. Now, for safety reasons, I don't have a real detonator in my hands there. We've got one out there. These detonators are metal tubes containing a very sensitive but very powerful explosive, often more powerful than TNT. That will be inserted into the top of the primer, and so when this gets set off, you have a bang, boom, and a kaboom. If you tie all these together in a particularly special way, you end up with a thing called a unit charge, which is like a demolitions hand grenade. Of course, you don't want to be around when it goes off. So this represents a bit of time fuse, just like you might see on Mission Impossible. And this represents a time pencil. Now, these time pencils are very, very simple bits of machinery. You've got a firing pin in there, just like you get on a gun, a percussion cap, which when you hit it makes a little bit of flame, and that firing pin is held back by a piece of wire. And next to the piece of wire, you have a small bottle of acid. When you're ready to start your timer, you crimp the outside copper tube, breaks the glass, and the acid leaks out onto the metal wire. A lot of the wire, I believe, was aluminium, so if I just show you here, very, very quickly it's going to start eating its way through. Of course, once the wire's been eaten through, the percussion cap goes poof, and all of a sudden either the detonator or the fuse lights. Our detonator goes bang, we get a boom and kaboom. Now, I did say the detonators are quite dangerous, so much so if you crimp the wrong end of it, you lose your hands. To that end, this is a blasting box. It's based on the one in the Blandford Museum, improvised by the Home Guard. It uses telephone components and valves and a capacitor in order to set off our explosives. So, I'm going to arm up the explosive and you're going to set it off. I'd like you to turn that handle round until that orange light lights. When I blow the whistle, bring that switch towards you, and hopefully we won't blow up the field too much. Okay, so charge it up for me, please.
Okay, the light's on.
Fire when ready. There you go.
Wow.
Well done.
Ready to blow up some bridges now. Although the SOE is most well known for operating in France, they saw service across the theatres of war. They were active throughout Europe, in Poland, the Netherlands and Denmark. Whilst we most commonly associate SOE agents with espionage behind enemy lines, they also needed to know how to fight. In Yugoslavia, Greece, Italy and Southeast Asia, they engaged in battles alongside local guerrilla and resistance groups. It was time for me to try out some weapons.
So we'll start with basics. It's a Smith & Wesson double action revolver, really simple to operate. Good old fashioned Colt 1911. If it breaks down in the field, you can always use it as a hammer because it is solid. And also the Italians version, so I've got a Beretta pocket pistol as well. And then for the German side of it, I've got the MP40, so German machine pistol, designed to fire lots of rounds really, really quickly, but not necessarily very accurate. The barrel's only about 8 inches long. So what we'll do now then, we'll get you to fire a couple of shots.
Perfect.
So with the Smith & Wesson then, what I'm going to do is to pull back on the hammer, point it towards the target, and gently squeeze the trigger. There you have a go at that now. Brilliant. Okay, we'll move on now to the automatic pistol, point at the target, gently squeeze the trigger. And again. And now we'll move on to the MP40. Now, if you can see there's a hole there just above my hand. Don't stick your fingers in there, otherwise it will chop your fingers off.
Yeah. Wow.
Good. Till it stops.
Yeah.
And then you need an engineering degree to strip it down and fix it.
This was a lot of fun, but it's important to remember that this was all very real for people my age who faced extreme danger in serving their country. From the SOE agents themselves to the resistance fighters they trained, this was a hands-on reminder of their crucial role and sacrifice in the war. That brings to a close my adventures at Chalke Valley History Festival. As you can tell, I travelled through centuries of history, across continents, and all in one place. If you enjoyed this video, do subscribe and click the bell to stay notified, and if you ever get the chance, do give Chalke Valley History Festival a visit.